Human beings have holozoic mode of nutrition. The alimentary canal of human beings is a long tube extending from the mouth to the anus. Now human beings, we eat various type of food, and this food has to pass through the digestive tract. So before passing, the food has to be processed, that is, it has to be broken down or crushed into small particles that are of the same texture. Now how is it done? It is done with the teeth, with the help of the teeth. The teeth will chew or grind the food and make it soft. Now the tongue, what will the tongue do? It will roll the food and it will also help in swallowing of the food. Another important function is that it will help in the tasting of the food. Now, as you know, when we are putting food into our mouth, a water is there in our mouth, right? This, when we eat something, our mouth will be watering. This is not only water, but it is a fluid. This fluid is called as the saliva and it is secreted by the salivary glands. Now the food that we eat, it is very complex in nature and it has to be absorbed by the alimentary canal. It has to be absorbed by the digestive system. For this, the complex materials that are present in the food have to be broken down into simpler substances. And this process of breaking down of the complex substances of the food we eat into simpler substances is done with the help of enzymes. Enzymes are biological catalysts, and as you know, what are catalysts? Catalysts help in reactions, right? So here the catalysts or the biological catalysts or enzymes will help in the breaking down of the complex substances into simpler substances. Now the saliva contains an enzyme that is called as a salivary amylase. This salivary amylase will help in the breaking down of starch into sugar. So the food is mixed thoroughly with the saliva and it will be broken down. The starch will be broken down into sugar. After this has been done, the tongue will help in swallowing the food. So digestion starts in the mouth. The teeth will chew the food and mash it, and then the salivary glands will secrete saliva. The saliva has the digestive enzyme salivary amylase that will help in the breakdown of starch into simple sugar, that is glucose. And now the food is mixed thoroughly with saliva. The starch has been broken down into the simple sugar, and now the tongue will help in swallowing the food. It will push the food into the esophagus. The esophagus will carry the food from the mouth to the stomach. The esophagus is the food pipe or esophagus will help to move the food from the mouth to the stomach. Now the lining of the esophagus has muscles, and these muscles will contract and relax in a rhythmic manner and help to push the food. These rhythmic contractions are called as the peristaltic movements. Now here you can see the muscle is contracting. When the muscle contracts, the food is pushed down and this place will be relaxed. Then when this place contracts, what will happen? The food will be pushed down again. Thus by these rhythmic contractions and relaxations that are called as the peristaltic movement, the food will be moved. Now this rhythmic contraction and relaxation will be taking place throughout the gut or throughout the alimentary canal for pushing the food. So from the mouth, the food is taken to the stomach through the esophagus or the food pipe. The stomach is a large muscular organ and the muscles of the stomach will help in mixing the food with the digestive juices that are secreted by the gastric glands. The gastric glands are present in the wall of the stomach and they will secrete a juice, the gastric juice. The gastric juice contains the enzyme pepsin, hydrochloric acid and mucus. The hydrochloric acid will create an acidic medium because an acidic medium is necessary for the enzyme pepsin to act. The hydrochloric acid will also kill the microbes that are entering into our body along with the food. So hydrochloric acid will create an acidic medium and it will kill the microbes that are entering along with the food. Now, as you know, the hydrochloric acid is a very corrosive acid. It's a very really strong acid. So in order to protect the inner lining of the stomach, the gastric glands will also secrete mucus, and the mucus will form a protective layer and protect the inner lining of the stomach. Pepsin is an enzyme. The pepsin enzyme will break down the protein into amino acids. From the stomach, the food will be entering into the small intestine. Now, the exit of food from the stomach is regulated by a muscle that is called as the sphincter muscle, which will allow only small quantities of food to be released from the stomach into the small intestine. Now, complete digestion of food will be taking place in the small intestine. So, complete digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats will be taking place in small intestine. Now, the small intestine receives secretion from liver and pancreas. Liver. The liver will be secreting the bile juice. Now the bile juice has two functions. First, the food that is coming from the stomach will be acidic in nature and the bile juice will be converting it into an alkaline medium. This is so that the pancreas, the digestive juices that are secreted by the pancreas can act only in an alkaline medium. So the food that is coming from the stomach will be changed into an alkaline medium. Next, the bile also helps in emulsification of fats. What is emulsification of fats? The fats that are entering into the small intestine will be in the form of large globules. Globules mean large pieces. They will be in very large pieces. And these large pieces will be broken down into smaller pieces by the bile juice. This process is called as the emulsification of fat. Now the pancreas will be secreting two enzymes, trypsin and lipase. The two enzymes that are secreted by the pancreas are the trypsin and lipase. Now trypsin will act on proteins and convert it into amino acids, while lipase will act on fat and convert it into fatty acids and glycerol. So the pancreas will be secreting two enzymes, trypsin and lipase. Trypsin will act on proteins and convert it into amino acids, while lipase will act on fat and convert it into fatty acid and glycerol. Now, as I told you before, complete digestion of the food materials will be taking place in the walls of the small intestine. Now, the length of the small intestine will be varying from organism to organism. The small intestine is very long in herbivores. The herbivores will be eating grass, and grass contains a lot of cellulose, and cellulose takes a lot of time to digest. So the herbivores will be having a longer small intestine, while the meat-eating carnivores will be having a shorter small intestine because meat is easier to digest than cellulose. Now the digested food will be absorbed by the walls of the small intestine. The walls of the small intestine have small finger-like projections that are called as the villi. And these villi are filled with blood vessels, and these blood vessels these villi, so since they are filled with blood vessels, they will absorb the food and it will be transported to all the parts of the body. Now, the undigested food materials will be passed into the large intestine. The undigested food materials from the small intestine will pass into the large intestine. in the large intestine, the walls of the large intestine will absorb the water that is present in the undigested food, and the rest of the undigested food will be removed from the body via the anus. And the anus is controlled by the anal sphincter, which will control the release of the waste materials. The alimentary canal is a long tube which starts from the mouth and ends in the anus. Different parts of the alimentary canal has different functions. The digestion of food starts in the mouth. The teeth in mouth will help to chew the food and mix it thoroughly with the saliva. The saliva has an enzyme, salivary amylase, which will help in the breakdown of starch into glucose. The tongue will help us to swallow the food, and the food will enter into the food pipe or esophagus. The food pipe or esophagus will connect the mouth to the stomach. Now the alimentary canal has muscles that will help in pushing the food downwards. The muscles will contract and relax in a rhythmic manner to push the food. This rhythmic manner of pushing the food down by relaxation and contraction is called peristaltic movement. Now the food, when it reaches the stomach, it will be mixed with the digestive juices that are secreted by the gastric glands. The gastric glands will secrete the gastric juice, which will contain hydrochloric acid, mucus and an enzyme pepsin. The hydrochloric acid will kill the microorganisms that are entering with the food, and it will also create an acidic medium. The mucus will protect the inner layer of the stomach, and pepsin will break down protein into amino acid. Then from the stomach, the food will enter into the small intestine. The exit of food from the stomach is regulated by a muscle, the sphincter muscle. The sphincter muscle will release food in small quantities into the small intestine. Complete digestion of food will be taking place in the small intestine. The small intestine will receive digestive juices from liver and pancreas. The liver will secrete bile juice. Now the bile juice will help to create an alkaline medium, and it will also help in emulsification of fat. An alkaline medium is needed for the action of the enzymes that are secreted by the pancreas. Two enzymes are secreted by the pancreas, trypsin and lipase. Trypsin will help in the breakdown of protein into amino acid, and lipase will help in the breakdown of fat into fatty acid and glycerol. Now the inner lining of the stomach has many small finger-like projections that are called as the villi. And the small intestine is the site of complete digestion, and the digested food materials will be absorbed by the villi. Now the villi are small finger-like projections, and these will increase the surface area for absorption. They are richly supplied with blood vessels which will absorb the digested food, and it will carry to different parts of the body. The unabsorbed food from the small intestine will move into the large intestine. The large intestine will absorb the water from this undigested food material, and the rest of the food material will be removed via the anus. The exit of this waste material is regulated by another muscle that is called as the anal sphincter.